Thank you very much, Beng. It's okay po. I'd like to invite Beng and Andrew to please come up on stage. We'll just have a short Q&A. There are a lot of questions actually that need to be asked. But we also do this so that kayo po mamaya pwede nyo pong lapitan sila. Kung may tanong po kayo, pwede nyong tanungin habang tayo ay magla-lunch mamaya. I guess our first question for both of you will be, because of your experience in covering or managing disasters in different parts of the world, how would you compare what happened to the Philippines and the pace of the response since almost a year ago in Typhoon Yolanda with other disasters that you've been a part of? Andrew, would you like to start?
Like all other disasters I've been in, the beginning of this disaster was chaotic. That's the norm. When you're in a disaster of this magnitude, all the infrastructure, everything is ripped up. So response is very difficult because you're really starting from ground zero. You're starting from nothing. So there was a lot of chaos initially, but I think through there's been a tremendous effort at coordination, not just amongst the responders, the NGOs, but with the government as well. The collaboration has been very, very strong, and that is not always the norm. But that sets, I think, the response in the Philippines somewhat apart from what I've seen elsewhere. And I think it's also what has contributed to such good progress that we've made over the past 8 months.
Okay, thank you. How about Beng?
I grew up here, but every year is always a new disaster. And last year was a banner year for disaster. So nakita natin, hindi pa tapos yung response sa Pablo. Nagkaroon tayo ng habagat din sa Maynila. Tapos nagkaroon ng krisis sa Zamboanga. Tapos meron tayong earthquake. At yung panghuli sa taon ng 2013 ay ang Yolanda. So isipin natin, nagugulat ang marami na paano din natin kagad na itayo ang ating mga sarili at mabilis din ang pagtulong na maraming mga bansa at mga tao. Yung aming karanasan, maraming mga Pilipino diaspora nag-volunteer bumalik dito sa Pilipinas para tumulong. So kung hindi oras man ang mabibigay nila, marami silang donasyon na dala. So ito kakaiba in the sense na ang daming tumulong kahit na sinabi ng sunod-sunod, ano ba kayo? Hindi bagyo, disaster at kung ano-anong problema. Pero sabi nila, nakangiti pa rin kayo.
Yeah.
Nakukuha pa rin natin ngumiti. So sa atin, sasabihin ko, partly kultura, partly sa lakas na rin ng tiwala ng bawat isa, nakakayanin natin to.
Right.
So yun ang kakaiba. Nakita ko sa Myanmar border, sa Burmese refugee camps, iba din ang mentality ng mga tao. 30 years na silang nasa refugee camps, so nawawala na pag-asa. Dito, ilang taon na tayong taon-taon may bagyo, pero hindi tayo nawawala ng pag-asa, nakakaisip pa tayo ng kanta at saya sa bawat baha na dadaanan natin.
It's more fun in the Philippines, ika nga. But since, we're here today, we're government officials, mga sundalo, estudyante, NGO officials. What are the challenges for you as a humanitarian organization in building back, in capacitating your partners? And what is the message that you would like to get across to the different stakeholders today in terms of how we can work together? How can we lessons from the past, that's what Mayor Romualdez and Governor Pitilio were talking about. How can we make sure that the mistakes don't happen again? Andrew?
Sure. One of the key lessons that we've learned that we need to continue to learn and broadcast out is to keep our focus on the communities, going back to the communities and understanding what their needs are, because their needs change. And it's easy to lose sight of that when you're in Manila or when you're elsewhere. But if you're out in the communities talking to the people on a regular basis and you have feedback mechanisms that let you actually understand what the concerns are, then any intervention can be adapted and modified to meet the needs as they change. That is a key lesson that we have learned.
Right. Okay. How about Beng?
At the start, I would say a key challenge was really the lack of electricity and communication lines. Kasi kahit na yung connection namin sa mga tao namin dito sa field, problemado. Kahit na may satellite phone kami, hindi siya sapat. At aming satellite phone, pinakiram namin sa mga government partners at sa iba pang mga humanitarian workers. Kasi critical na maipabatid natin anong kailangan. Anong kailangan talaga para hindi tayo magdadala ng mga bagay na hindi kailangan sa lugar na to. So isa yon. So infrastructure related yon. Second challenge is for us to recognize na ang preparedness, marami sa atin kasi na-underestimate si Yolande.
Right.
Alam natin Category 5, okay, sabi natin, may dumaan ng Category 5. Pero hindi natin akalain na ganun katindi ang pagpasyal ni Yolanda. Kasi weeks before, may monitoring na kami Category 5, sinabihan din kami ng DSWD National, maghanda kayo, ready kayo kasi Category 5 to, hihingin namin ang tulong ninyo. So, alertado ang gobyerno. Ang hindi natin in-expect, magiging ganito ang epekto niya na sabay ang hangin at tubig. Madalas kasi sabi natin, hangin lang o kaya tubig lang. Ngayon, nagsasabay na siya, hangin at tubig. So yung realization na hindi pwedeng business as usual. At panghuli, trust that the solutions are with the Filipinos. Listen to the Filipinos. Kay IDP siya o LGU siya, kailangan natin pakinggan. Hindi porke aral tayo sa ibang lugar o nagtrabaho tayo sa international agencies, tayo ang may kasagutan. Maling-mali yun. Iba ang sagot para sa ibang lugar, walang one size fits all. Kailangan natin gawan lagi ng panibagong sagot batay sa sitwasyon ng mga komunidad na ating tinutulungan.
Okay, thank you. Now, I know maraming tanong, but we can only accommodate 2. So, I think we have one here, and then I'll ask another one in the back po. Sige. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, good morning. And my question, I'm City Councilor John Bagulaya here in Tacloban, and I am a transgender. So my question is for IOM, because this is the first time that I have heard that one of the sectors that you are helping the LGBT community, and I'm happy that you recognize the LGBT as a sector. So, as a city councilor and as a transgender, and also as a survivor here in Tacloban, how can we be partners in helping the LGBT community? Because the LGBT community is also a vulnerable sector which is being left behind. And also, how can we be partners in creating protection to the whole LGBT community? Because for sure, I may be the only transgender here in this room, but I'm sure there are other people who are members of the LGBT community. Thank you.
Sige po.
Una, salamat po sa offer. Kasi ang aming opisina naman po, hindi mawawala sa Pilipinas. At sa katunayan, ang aking huling gupit ay sa Bank House at courtesy of the LGBT community sa Ormoc Bank House po yun. So ang sa amin, ang guidance, paano namin nako-cover ang mga LGBT? Dahil na rin sa issuance ng Commission on Human Rights. Sa simula ng response, nagbigay ng guidance ang Commission on Human Rights, sino ang vulnerable sectors. Sinusunod namin ang kinikilalang mga vulnerable sectors at linggo na may tinatawag kaming displacement tracking, kasama yung iba-ibang profile ng nasa bank house man sila, nasa tent city man sila, o lilipat na sa transitional shelter. So kasama yon sa aming pagkilala at wala pong problema sa inyong offer dahil kami po ay lagi naman pong nakikipag-ugnayan sa LGU. Mamaya po, pwede pong kausapin kayo ng mga kasama ko dyan na mga nakabase dito sa Tacloban. At ako rin po mamaya, pag tayo ay naka-break na, makikipag-usap sa inyo.
Okay, thank you. Our last question before we move on. And then of course, pwede kayo magtanong mamaya po sa break.
Good noon to everyone. I'm Danilo Atienza, the Provincial Disaster Risk Reduction Management Officer of Southern Leyte. I would like to raise this question to both the IOM and World Vision. Because what usually experience, not only in the Philippines, but also in other countries, when there is a major disaster, international organizations do implement programs. But I don't know if during the planning stage, they have considered sustainability in those programs that they are implementing or they would like to implement in that country. Now, what usually happens or experience is that after that implementation time frame of an INGO, they will left the country and then not minding really on what will happen on the programs that they have implemented. What we are focusing now is resiliency of the communities. But if we will not consider sustainability in our programming, then we cannot achieve resiliency. It will only encourage dependency on the part of the communities. So I would like to ask, what is now the sustainability plan of the INGOs like your organization? Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Would anyone like, yeah,
Sure.
Andrew?
Thanks for that question. It's an excellent question. World Vision has been operating in the Philippines for over 50 years, 55 years. In terms of sustainability, we've been working with the same communities for almost half a century. So when a disaster like this happens, we already have a footprint that's well established within the communities and very focused on what the communities need. It's simply a matter of adapting our approach with the communities based on the emergency at hand. In this case, it was Typhoon Haiyan. In terms of the whole approach on resiliency, resiliency is really the connecting block between regular development programming, which World Vision has been doing in the Philippines for a long time, and something like an emergency. It sets us up and it prepares us to make the communities more resilient, because we know these disasters will happen again. What we are focused on now is pre-positioning, preparedness, and training, building the capacity both of our staff, but also working with local government units and making sure that, for instance, the DRR legislation that has been put out is implemented, and that the local government units have the capacity to actually implement the legislation. So these are some of the efforts that we're doing to make sure that it is sustainable moving forward.
Okay, thank you. And Beng, your last words.
Yes. Dahil yan isa sa trabaho ko sa IOM, ang
Yes.
sumulat ng project proposal, program design. The best way to ensure sustainability is, one, to ensure relevance, two, participation of the communities we want to serve, and three, it's included in the plan since day one.
Right.
So that means we're not planning about sustainability now. And that's why what I've shown earlier, yung training ng mga teachers, ng mga IDP youth, sila na ang magbibigay ng pagsasanay. Hindi kami. Simula lang, tools lang ang aming binahagi. That's part of sustainability. Hindi ibig sabihin, hindi namin sila tutulungan pa sa mga materyales. Kasama din namin dyan yung mga AFP and PNP sa pagsasanay. So hindi lang yung direct community, pati yung other stakeholders kasama dun sa sustainability planning.
Okay, thank you very much. I'd like to thank the two speakers for your time. At palakpakan po natin sila, IOM, World Vision, at lahat ng mga humanitarian organizations. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Zach. Thank you, IOM and World Vision.